Let's get this figured out. This world gon' give me whatever I need until I get this vision out. Then they gon' pay me whatever I ask, cause I got it figured out. Family be checking all up on a nigga to see how I'm feeling now. Damn, they love to see a nigga really make a killing now. I put a lock on the game and I hide the code and the keys. I am not playing no games, I really play this shit for keeps. That shit for me.
Heads YouTube, what's going on? It is your boy Coach DC coming back at you today with another video, and I figure, since we're waiting on the deep dive, I pause there. Yeah, man, I just start breaking down some of the stuff that I really feel like needs to matter. And one of those things is we need more position specific attributes to matter, meaning, play recognition with let's say a lineman or whatever. Offensive lineman is not so important as play recognition with a linebacker. And I feel like sometimes some of these attributes get lost, amongst the abilities. And so, when it comes to linebackers, for example, let's just talk linebackers. Let's say play recognition and also awareness, should be something that comes into play to trigger their responses. And so all of this stuff kind of goes into ultimately getting a response. As you see, I'm showing you like older clips, and even when it comes to like the feedback and stuff that they used to give us, you see how the feedback is right there above the head, the sprint, play ball, even right there as I'm running down the field, you see the juke and celebrate and all that stuff. You guys you have to notice how much of this stuff that they've taken away, and also the correlation between that and how inconsistent the responses are on the game and the movement and all that kind of stuff. And so I've said it for years, the click on and all that stuff is not as good as it used to be. You see right here, this old school switch stick. Yeah, it's called clicking on. But you see the response right there. I'm able to click on to the DB, and also I'm able to change direction. Now, yeah, that has a lot to do with the mechanics as well, but just the fact that it wasn't a battle right there for me to get control of the guy, and it wasn't a battle for me to click on. One thing I've noticed with the new game, or the newer versions of the game, is how bad and how inconsistent that the click on stuff is. And so that, to me, again, when we talk about attributes, let's talk about when it comes to defensive backs. Defensive backs should be able to get themselves in position, but ultimately, y'all know how I feel. You should have to make the play. But you see how the safety right there, he matches the route, gets into position, and so therefore, when I click on, and you got to understand, this is like the old gen stuff. When I click on, I get a reaction. Something happens when I hit a button. And it just seems like on the newer versions of the game, they kind of pick and choose when they're going to let you click on, and, the type of reaction, that you're able to get. And I mean, like, this is recent. In 24, I noticed it starting to get progressively a little bit worse. But now it's like 25 was like a really terrible year in terms of defensive response. And I'm just talking like user stuff, like when you click on, and when you have a guy and you hit a button to do something and nothing happens. And so I think I'm being gracious when I talk about it correlating to attributes, because I think it's just DDA. It's just them picking and choosing when they want things to like work. And so that's why it's always so difficult for us to get any consensus on it, because we're all having a different experience with the game. I know that sounds really confusing, but it's like, You know, one set of players may not be experienced in having bad movement while another set of players are. And y'all have to understand this AI era that we're in. I just keep digging just the worst holes for myself with these people in this game. But I understand my role in it now, so I get it. I'll always be cheated playing this game. It just is. It is what it is. So I might as well do the best I can at what I'm trying to do, which is, put the mechanics in you guys' hands and let you guys really have a really at least a fulfilling experience with having control is what I'm trying to say. You gotta have control on this game. To me, so much control has been taken from this game. It kind of, to me, it downplays the experience because you're losing to AI interaction stuff. You're losing to AI interceptions. It's not that you're calling a great defense. It's that your AI guy had a great response on that particular play. I promise if they ever took away the AI turnovers and just made them swats or knockdowns or pass breakups, everyone would have a better experience, because then now, even if you're going for it on fourth down, you're just going to get the ball back at that spot, and then you still have to earn your way down the field. And so, at least on all Madden, I feel like it should be that way. But in terms of just responsiveness and movement, the game has been better. There's no doubt. 25 was definitely a step in the wrong direction in terms of user responsiveness, and also click on when you click on, and even offensively at times you it's almost like they won't let you click to the receiver, and then when they do, the receiver just kind of dumbs out and runs away from the ball that's coming right to him. But I keep hearing that, and I've talked to several different people. I keep hearing that the game is a much better game. Like I said, for me, I personally have to see what that entails. I would love to take somebody's word for it, but I just have to see it for myself, because I like I said, I have the T-shirts, all of them, and so every year it starts one way, and then either we cry our way into something, to stopping something, or whatever the case may be. But like click-ons like this are hard to come by anymore. They're just it's hard to get that response out of a DB where you can totally turn them around with any consistency. And the thing that I'm trying to stress is that should never be an issue, because that's a user function. That's me hitting a button. That's me hitting another button to make him stop and come back to the ball. Look at how fast the click on occurs here. And just look at the responsiveness right there. Actually, I almost overran that. You know what I'm saying? And so they have to, what would be better for the game, and I'm not going to say they have to do anything, because I know they won't, but what would be better for the game would be to turn down some of the AI stuff. And you're going to have to start letting people get beat 100-0. You're going to have to start letting some sorry, excuse my language, but you got to let some sorry people just be sorry. Like, we're doing too much of a rescue job with some people who have no business in games. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's the only way to get actual improvement. And that's the only way to create a skill gap, is to let some people are going to have to, for lack of a better term, some people are going to have to die. Not literally. I mean, just on the game. Yeah, I know how the internet is, man. YouTuber says people must die for that. Stop it. No. But my point is that I've been going way off on some of this stuff. But it's just like, I want to be able to take control of my guy, move, turn around, and I want to be able to attack the ball when I hit a button. Now, let's say if I hit that button too early, then I fall on my face, or you show, mistimed, all that stuff. Let's get back to that part. You know what I'm saying? Let's teach people how to at least explain some of the stuff that happens on the game. There's too much stuff that happens on this game, and we just feel like I guess EA feels like there's no explanation needed. All right, because we can't corner them to ask them the question, basically. And so now we have switch stick, and now we have this stuff. And like I said, this is why I do this. The mechanics make this stuff possible. So all the time I'm sitting here complaining, think about it. You're watching me complain about the very stuff that you see me actually out here doing with no problem. But the problem is not everybody has the mechanics, and so the game becomes overridden with people who just fall back on the metas and all that kind of stuff, and they're not trying to learn the game, they're trying to win a game. You know what I'm saying? And there's a difference. It would be so much different if people had to learn the game in order to win a game. Man, boy, talking about for real. Y'all heard that. But again, there are ways around it, as you see. So in the midst of my complaints, I'm showing you can get it done. But my thing is, hey man, do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? That Bible26 is gonna be a monster. I'm gonna do a little mini guide for the college game, you know, once it comes out, probably just more so to update the college football guide stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just a little mini guide. And so that'll probably be something that'll be good for you guys that got the for you thousands that got the college football 25 guide. This will be some stuff that'll update the new features and that kind of stuff for you. So yeah, man, we'll be going over this until the deep dive occurs, man. Y'all enjoy your week. It's your boy Coach. I'm out.